I knew something was wrong the moment the suitcase clicked shut at 6 a.m. My wife, Alina, never moved quietly. She was the kind of person who bumped into furniture even in daylight. Yet that morning she crept around like she didn't want me to wake up. That's what pulled me out of sleep. The unfamiliar silence surrounding someone who was never silent. "I have to go," she whispered when she saw me sit up. Her eyes avoided mine. "Emergency work trip. They need me in Karachi." "Since when?" I rubbed my face. "You didn't mention anything. It came up late last night." She slid her phone into her jacket with a little too much urgency. "I didn't want to wake you." A lie. I didn't know how I knew, but I felt it. Still, I nodded because that's what husbands do when they trust their wives. They give the benefit of the doubt, even when something in their chest whispers don't. She kissed my forehead quick and cold. "I'll be back in 2 days." 2 days. She left. And I sat there on the edge of our bed, feeling like someone had reached into my ribs and twisted. The first crack in the story appeared at noon. She usually texted me once she reached anywhere. Airport, hotel, conference center, even if she was busy. But 4 hours passed without a single message. I sent one. "You reached safely?" No reply. An hour later, another. "Everything okay?" Nothing. I reminded myself she was working, but the truth was uglier. My mind kept replaying how the suitcase was already packed when I woke, how she avoided my eyes, how she held her phone like it carried secrets. By 5 p.m. I couldn't take it. I called her. It rang once, twice, then went to busy. Busy. In all our years together, that had never happened unless she was already on another call. And I knew with a sinking, merciless certainty that she wasn't talking to her boss. The hurt came first, then the shaking, then anger. A slow, cold thing that made my hands steady. I didn't know what she was doing, but I knew how to find out. At 6:12 p.m., I sent the message that changed everything. "Emergency at home. Call me now." I debated adding more, something dramatic, something alarming. But no. If she cared, she'd call. If she didn't, that would tell me more than any words could. The reply came in less than 10 seconds. Not a call. A message. "What happened? Are you okay?" Her sudden availability told me everything I needed to know. She wasn't busy. She wasn't in a meeting. She wasn't on a work trip. She was somewhere she shouldn't be, doing something she shouldn't be doing, but she was terrified of getting caught. I stared at the screen until the letters blurred. Then with a strange steady calm I typed, "You need to come home. Now." I didn't explain. I didn't soften. She stopped responding altogether after that, but I saw the WhatsApp typing bubble pop up and vanish again and again until she finally wrote, "I'm on my way." 2 minutes later. "Don't do anything stupid. Just wait for me." That sentence told me more than any confession ever could. She arrived home 3 hours later. Hair disheveled, makeup smudged, the faint smell of someone else's cologne trailing her. I stood in the hallway. She froze when she saw me, guilt hitting her face like a slap. "You're home early," I said quietly. She swallowed hard. I caught the first flight back." "You didn't go to Karachi." She closed her eyes. "And you weren't alone," I added. A tear slipped down her cheek. Not the devastated kind, but the kind that came from being caught. "Please," she whispered. "Let me explain." "Then explain." Her lips trembled. "We'd been talking for months. I didn't plan for it to happen like this. I'm so sorry." "Who?" She hesitated. That hurt more than everything else combined. "Who, Alina?" Her voice cracked. "Samar. My best friend. My brother in everything but blood." I let out a breath so shaky it almost folded me. "Were you with him today?" My voice felt detached from my body. She didn't answer. She didn't need to. Her silence screamed yes. "Say something," she begged. "Please don't just stare at me like that." I walked past her. Not because I forgave her. Not because I wanted space. But because if I stayed standing in front of her, I might shatter. She followed me, grabbing my arm. "I didn't mean to fall for him. It just happened." "I trusted you," I said. "I trusted him. I trusted our marriage." I know. "No, you don't." My voice finally broke. "You don't know what it feels like to send one message and watch your whole world rush back in fear instead of love." She started crying harder. "I messed up. But I came home. You came home because you were scared, I said. Not because you loved me. She opened her mouth but nothing came out. For the first time she had no lies left. I walked into the bedroom, the same room she had kissed me goodbye that morning, knowing full well she was going to another man. You're leaving tonight, I said. Take your things. She gasped. What? No. Please. We can fix this. Can you fix the image of you rushing home because you thought your affair would be exposed? She flinched as if the words were bullets. Can you fix the way you avoided my eyes when you left? Please. Can you fix the way I don't believe a single word you say now? Not even the ones you're crying. Her sobs grew louder, messy, desperate. I made a mistake. Horrible one. But I love you. No, I said softly. You loved that I loved you. That was the truth she couldn't argue with. Pain tightened her face, but she didn't deny it. She packed slowly, crying into every shirt, every memory. I didn't help. I couldn't. If I touched her things, I might remember who she used to be to me. When she finally stood at the door, suitcase in hand, she whispered, Is this really it? I looked at her. At the woman I had planned my future with, the woman who had once looked at me like I was enough. Yes, I said. Because the moment you lied this morning, the marriage ended. I'm just acknowledging it now. She nodded once, trembling, then walked out. The silence that followed was deafening, but it wasn't empty. It held the truth, sharp and painful but clean. I wasn't free, but I was no longer blind, and sometimes that's the first step.